I'm hustling, every day I'm hustling, every day I'm hustling, every day I'm hustling.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Youngnaires. And if you're a youngin' and you're struggling, it's time to get to hustling. And y'all already know why we're here, to educate and encourage our fellow Youngnaires on the importance of being an entrepreneur and living a self-fulfilling life. Now, some of y'all might not know what a Youngnaire is.
Let me explain. A Youngnaire is simply a young entrepreneur with a millionaire mindset.
Very simple.
Very simple.
Very simple. And y'all know we only having the coldest people on the podcast.
Yes, ma'am.
Let her know who we got today.
Today's guest is a 25-year-old cash flow coach. She has multiple profitable properties, and she's teaching others how to follow in her footsteps. Miss Lord Leya.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
You look fabulous. Like the pants.
I'm just loving the brooch. Like,
It is.
Zara.
Really? Oh, I
Yes.
do love a good Zara.
I love a good Zara.
It is really
Yes.
fabulous.
They need
so
to sponsor
cute.
me.
The whole closet.
Yes, literally my whole closet.
So tell us a little bit about yourself. Who is the cash flow coach?
So, Lord Leya, I am a serial entrepreneur. That kind of sounded weird talking in third person.
No,
I am a serial entrepreneur. I started my journey in elementary school, actually,
Wow.
and it's literally have just kind of like consumed my life to a certain extent.
I
So
love that.
I just have been transitioning through different phases of entrepreneurship, from selling candy to selling wigs to selling properties.
Oh,
now.
I love that.
It's just been
We love diversity.
Yes, I have diversified, and I am a mom, a content creator, wife, just all around.
Everything. She put it right
Very
on
well
it.
said.
you know.
How did you get into Airbnbs?
Well, actually, I got into Airbnb out of necessity. So I was a struggling entrepreneur for a long time. And
We all start out that way. It's okay.
I was super struggling, and I was about to get evicted from my house and my condo. And the power of social media, I was following this guy, CEO Matty J, and he had posted on his story, do anybody want free game for helping him move out of one of his Airbnbs into another unit? And I was like, heck yeah, this sounds like something I need to do.
Right.
I had been watching him for a while, and he was like taking over the Airbnb industry.
Yeah.
So I was like, of course I would, put some sweat equity in and get some, free information that has changed my life, and I am absolutely grateful. So I am happy to be on this podcast to, pay it forward, because I literally changed my life. I became a multimillionaire from free information. So thank you for having me.
That'll do it. Yes, I love that. Well, you kind of touched on, you said you were selling candy and stuff. Was that like your first taste of entrepreneurship, or like when did you get the bug?
That was my first taste of entrepreneurship. I was in first or second grade, and it just literally, I was the only kid who can go back and forth from the after school program, because my grandmother lived across the street. So I could be in the after school program, but then I could also go to her house. So I would just get snacks from her house or go buy them from the store. I was like Uber Eats before Uber Eats, and I would just charge the kids a delivery fee.
That's hilarious.
Then it just spiraled into that was just my hustle. All throughout school, I was able to make extra money for myself, and I had always been self-sufficient from that point forward.
That's so awesome.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I love when people start young.
I know.
Well, you just mentioned that you're a mom. So how did becoming a new mom affect your business, or if it did it?
Oh my goodness, it affected my business tremendously. So right before I had got pregnant, I wanted to retire. I was thinking about retiring. I just, was kind of burnt out from entrepreneurship. I being as though I'm not really a party person, so I spent the better half of my teens and 20s being an entrepreneur, and that is a lot, especially for a young person. So I kind of missed out on the whole
fun.
the whole
We're doing that too right now.
So it was when I got to this point, I was last year was my year of I'm doing what I want. I'm traveling every month. I'm taking 2 trips every month. I'm not working. I don't feel like doing anything. I want some time to myself, and then that idle time, got me pregnant. So don't have any idle time. Don't have any idle time at all. And now it's like, after having my baby, I'm like, he just motivated me so much. It's like, forget retirement. Because I thought I was going to be a stay-at-home mom and do that whole thing. I felt like that was my transition, but it's just like seeing his face every day. It's like, no, get up. We have to do something.
Yes.
He's like a little boss baby. He watches Boss Baby every day. So he's like my little CEO in training. He just like motivates me to like do stuff.
More.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so beautiful. So when did you know that you wanted to start mentoring other people and showing other people how to do it? Because I know some people get like stuck in just doing stuff for themselves.
Yes.
So when was it like, okay, I want to help others?
I've always been like a helpful person, like from a young age. But I never really felt that I had a skill that I could, teach other people. Even though like in school and stuff, I was always like the teacher's aide. I would grade papers and stuff like that. But when it came to like transitioning into like business and entrepreneurship, I didn't think I had enough savvy to start teaching the information that I had. And it wasn't until I like read Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich, and he, said you must get a mentor to, advance your life and to progress. And once I got me a mentor and CEO Matty J, and I seen the way he transformed my life in a genuine and humble way, that just, pushed me forward to, share my information. Well, he really pushed me forward because he's like, you have the information and sitting on it is kind of selfish. And then I kind of started feeling that in my spirit, like, dang, you have all this information and you're making all this money, and to not share it is selfish. So that's kind of where that whole thing came about.
I love that. That is beautiful.
So what do you think is something that should be taught in schools that isn't?
I know this sounds cliche, and probably everybody that comes on here says this, but financial literacy. And I know why they don't teach it to us, but some aspect needs to be taught. Well, I was watching a documentary, and it was kind of on the men who built America and John D. Rockefeller. And John D. Rockefeller stated that he would rather have a nation of, workers than thinkers. So it's like, and he's the one who, came up with the industrialized economy, the, that whole type of 9-to-5 work, 7 days a week type of thing. So it makes sense, the most powerful people in our country wants us to be workers and not thinkers. So, of course they're not going to teach us about financial literacy when our country runs off of debt and interest and, just they love to make money off of our debt.
Of other people,
so... But I believe some aspect of financial literacy, because like in public schools that I've moved around a lot as a kid. So I've went to a lot of different schools, and my mother always tried to make sure we were in the best school possible. And I noticed that being in other schools with my white counterparts, we had credit unions inside the school building. They actually,
I've never heard of that.
Yes, we had a credit union inside the school, in our high school, and to teach us, financial literacy and to teach us how to manage our money. And we had a school store that we can, spend and buy school supplies and stuff like that. So it was a whole, school economy. But then when I went to, a school in the inner city, is nothing.
There's nothing there.
Yeah, they're telling us how to get, student loans.
Yes.
So.
Oh,
that is,
yeah.
I want to go to that school.
I know. And I didn't appreciate it at the time, but now looking back at it, it's like, if I would have taken advantage, I would have been a little further ahead than I am now. So it's like, yes.
Wow, that's crazy. I wish I had that in school for real. Right?
I know.
But how much do you think people should have like saved up and like capital or whatever for them to start getting into the Airbnb business?
Well, I would say one of my biggest mistakes that I made as an entrepreneur is using my own money first. That's why I was a struggling entrepreneur. And I say I was a struggling entrepreneur by choice because my mother impressed upon me ever since like I was 18 to, she made sure when I was 18 I had a perfect credit score. So then at that point she impressed upon me to build business credit. Yeah. And I did not. I just kept, Mom, whatever. I made 6 figures by the time I was
Right.
16. So what are you talking about? Credit?
Okay.
I'll worry about that later. But that was the stupidest thing that I ever did, because I was spending so much money on inventory, marketing, on the wrong products, not making a return, and I like depleted my savings like really quickly, and it just was a catastrophe. So had I been using other people's money and then building my dreams, it would have been totally different. So I would say don't necessarily save any money. Save for a rainy day and your personal expenses.
Yeah.
But when it comes to businesses, go to the bank and get your startup money and have it planned out to a T. And I know a lot of people on the internet, want to tell you, oh, go get a tons of credit cards, 0% interest for 12 months.
Right.
All of that. But have a plan for what you're going to do. Actually know your numbers, what your return on investment is going to be, because you don't want to be taking out a bunch of debt and you see no return on it. So, but I definitely experiment with other people's money. Don't experiment with your own hard-working
Y'all heard her.
money.
Right.
Y'all heard
So
her.
you kind of just touched on my next question. So why is it better to use credit than other, like using cash or your debit card or something else?
Because you want to stay cash neutral in all situations. Any business is risky. Nothing is 100% guaranteed.
Yeah.
So you don't want to technically be personally liable for anything. And that's just my opinion. Like I've gone through the whole thing of building businesses from the ground up, dollar for dollar, and working up my cash flow. And for one, it's a longer drawn out process, and two, you live a certain type of way that is just unbecoming of us. We are like, we're like royalty. That's how I feel. I feel like we're royalty.
Yes.
So we don't need to be living, the bare minimum, especially trying to grow a business. Like it's so difficult. So it's like, get other people's money. And if you still want to work your 9 to 5, if you still have other passions, use that money for yourself and to live the lifestyle that you want until you build up an income that pays for both.
Yep, you speaking to my soul right now. You speaking to my soul. So I want you to describe a time where you just completely just messed up, and it was completely your fault. It was my bad, and how did you get out of that?
Oh my goodness. It's like, when don't I mess up? No, really.
Entrepreneurship in a nutshell.
Yes,
Lots of ups and downs.
I am falling on my face constantly. And that's kind of my whole method. I like to fall on my face. My grandfather, he was like a big chess player, and he always told me that sometimes it's better to lose than to win in chess, because you see moves that you wouldn't otherwise have seen, or strategies you wouldn't have seen if you would have won. So I try to kind of take risk and calculated risk and fail, so to speak, because it just teaches me different paths, different solutions.
Right.
So, that is, I don't know, because literally, I fail and fall on my face all the time, and I make big mistakes, and all of those mistakes, I would say, they always come with a dollar amount. So
Sadly, they do.
Yes, in entrepreneurship, every failure and mistake comes with a dollar amount, and I like that to a certain extent, because I never forget my mistakes, because I'm like, that cost me $50,000, and I'm not doing
I'm
that
not
again.
doing it again.
Never again will you catch me.
But just one thing in general, I would say, is having discernment when it comes to just the information that you take in, the people that you hire for your business. Just have discernment and do your research very thoroughly. If you even have to because people put up their testimonials and reviews all the time. Go talk to those testimonials and reviews and see what happened. See what their experience was, because everybody has a different experience, and you don't want to just go off of what works for somebody else. Figure out what works for you, and if this person is a good fit for your business, then bring them on, because I think that's one of my that used to be like one of my weaknesses, is hiring people, because I didn't want to fail in that way. I'm like, I don't want to spend all this money hiring somebody, they don't do the job right, or whatever the case may be. And then I was just like, I lost that fear, and I was just like, I'm going to do it, because my business had grown so big that I need help.
Yeah.
So I just started hiring people like crazy and throwing money at my problem, and that didn't necessarily work. Don't throw money at the problem. Learn what the problem is, and then find the best person that can be the solution.
Yeah, I love that.
Dropping some
Thank
gems. Okay. Well, do you think that Airbnbs are like a long-term play or a short-term play?
Both. And I say both because this industry has been around for a long time. It's essentially, you know, the hotel and hospitality industry, just in a, you know, new business model. So depending on how you set yourself up, it can absolutely be a long-term play. I've been in this industry for 5 years now, but I have taken my short-term investments and turned them into long-term investments. So I started out leasing apartments and houses, condos, all of those type of things. And now I've transitioned into buying properties, and now turning those properties into Airbnbs. And my son kind of inspired that, because I'm like, how can I pass this on to him? I can't pass on leases to him. He needs something that is going to generate income. And it's not the traditional rental model, which I like. So he wouldn't have to, you know, continuously find tenants or anything like that. But it's something that can generate, you know, cash flow. And it's an investment that he'll always have, because he has the property itself.
So do you believe that this is a recession-proof field?
That's a tricky question, because the hospitality industry is, vacation rental industry is not necessarily recession proof, because in recessions, people start to spend less money, they start to travel less. But when it comes to the short-term rental industry, there's so many people that you can serve. So you don't necessarily have to serve vacation people. You can serve travel nurses. You can serve, you know, insurance agencies. So when people have insurance policies, and let's say, you know, it's a flood or fire or anything, and they get displaced from their home, their insurance agency pays for their accommodation. So whether they stay at a hotel or Airbnb or whatever the case may be, their insurance company is going to pay for it. So you can service those type of individuals. You can service other traveling workers. You can do business to business. So any business that has remote workers or have workers that travel a lot. So even with the insurance agencies, again, they have insurance adjusters that go out and do damage on natural disasters, if it was a hurricane or anything, and they need places to stay. So it can be recession proof in that way. It's just the clientele you choose to serve.
Love that. What was that? I think it might be.
Pata.
We're getting better and better every single time, guys.
Really
it's
are.
really getting good. So we're gonna bring out the pie. We all have apple pie this time. So excited. This one was so good, girl.
Very, very yummy.
Little, like, toffee thing on top of it. It was so delicious.
I love apple pie.
Yes, let's get into it. So pie time is questions more a little bit like rapid questions, and also not really catered toward your industry, just more like entrepreneurship as a whole. And let's jump right into it.
So where do you see yourself and your business in, say, 5 years?
I see more expansion into ownership, and I see myself moving towards, you know, B2B business. So servicing, you know, government contracts and other, you know, businesses that require, I want to strictly move into that, you know, field, and branching out and increasing my community. So, you know, I'm really big on just, you know, spreading the knowledge and spreading the information. So I want to serve people in that way, and, you know, help them expand their businesses and do the same thing and create financial freedom for their families.
I love that.
That's so cute. So what do you think is the best thing about being an entrepreneur?
Besides the cash.
Besides the cash.
It is.
And give me a con too. And give me a con.
So it's the freedom. It is the absolute freedom for me, because there were days when I was a struggling entrepreneur. I had to go, get a job again or do Uber Eats again. So during those times when you're on somebody else's schedule, I wasn't able to work on my business to make extra money on the side, or, when I did, it was very limited time. So now that I have the freedom, I can get up and move how I want to move,
it's so freeing.
Yes, I have the ability to spend every single second with my child. I don't have to, compromise how I want to raise him and send him to daycare or anything like that.
Sometimes
I get to spend these.
Yes.
And I don't have to compromise, how I want to spend my time and what I want to do on this earth, because I don't feel like we're not here to, make money. That's not our purpose. I, would like everybody that comes after me in my lineage to have the ability to figure out what they want to do, money aside. So, and that's another thing. Let's normalize
wealth.
Trust fund babies.
Yes.
Like, a lot of people, our community thinks that, trust fund babies, it's like a really big stigma around, trust fund kids. And no, this is like, it's estate planning. It's making sure that your family is set up after you, whether it's money or assets or whatever the case may be. So we have to normalize creating trust and having, trust fund kids.
Really, in our community. To be honest, because there are other communities, they help each other.
They got it. They know.
When I started making a certain amount of money and, I started moving in different circles, I became friends with trust fund kids. And I just admired their lifestyle and the way that they were raised, and how they have the, freedom to explore and to mess up and to, figure themselves out. And it's like a lot less pressure. So, and even if your family isn't supportive in a monetary way, they can be supportive in other ways and provide other resources. So, having that freedom to actually figure yourself out and, just build, and without like the stress and pressure of money. I want that for everybody that comes after me.
And tell them that con.
The con, I would say just you have to unlearn a lot, especially about money. Your morals and your ethics are going to get tested. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, because, they can get tested throughout any, endeavor. But I really just think maybe I don't know.
You love it that much?
I love entrepreneurship. I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Yeah, I know, me
but
either.
it comes with so much.
Yeah, it does.
And it comes with a lot of healing, because now people start to treat you different, or they start to treat people associated to you differently because of, your status or whatever. I don't know. So I don't know. I think that's a big con for me, is like how people perceive me after like, a certain level.
After you made it. I think it's survivor's guilt. It's called survivor's guilt, maybe.
Like, well, I don't feel guilty. It's them. I'm like, why you being weird to me? Like, I don't, like, I'm not different. I've always been this way, like, literally. And that's one thing that I can say, like, I've always been an entrepreneur, so I've always been this way. Like, even my friends in elementary school will tell you I've been this way all over. I'm like, it's no other way. It's no other way that I've ever been. So for people to treat me different, it's like, I don't know. I'm not treating.
Struggling, we were cool, but now that I'm good, we're
or now that I say no to things. Telling people no to things is like, and I'm not really good at it, but when I do it, it's just like, dang, I never really say no. So like, don't try to act a certain way. Like,
terrible, because I said no this one time.
Exactly. So that's a con. The kind of the way other people kind of like treat you and perceive you at a certain point, and it's like, I'm not that person that you're making me out to be, and I actually like. I don't know. It's like I am an example
what
of
you
God's grace.
Right.
So
right.
you should not
Don't
be
test
mad at
me.
or don't be mad at me. I
Right.
did not do this. Take it up with God.
Right.
He blessed me. Sorry.
You know,
Like-
because God blessed me.
And I'm not gonna be humble about it.
Absolutely not.
Like
Why
I'm,
should you?
I'm
There's
not
not
gonna
a
be humble
reason.
about it. So
I love
yeah.
that. I love that. That is, and I'm not gonna be humble about it. Period. At all. Because God did His thing when He made us. Okay.
Amen.
Period. Amen.
Like,
Now here we are.
You put in the work.
So how did the COVID catastrophe affect your business, or if it did at all?
So the pandemic, it completely shifted my business because at first I was strictly just on Airbnb. I didn't know
Right.
anything about, hosting traveling nurses
Yeah,
or
yeah, yeah.
hosting remote workers, anything like that. So at the beginning, when everything was immediately shut down,
Yeah.
I lost a ton of money, a ton
Yeah.
of bookings. I lost 7 units,
Jesus.
So
Ooh.
yeah, hurt my heart. And it was just like, it just hit me. It was like a gut punch, but I immediately pivoted. And that pivot has changed the trajectory of my entire business because I was like, oh, this is lit. Like,
Yeah.
somebody can stay in my property for 30 days to 6 months
Yeah.
and I don't have to worry about anything. They're going
Nothing.
to treat the place like it's their own. Like, I have to deal with one person and
Yep.
the deposit is going to come the same way. So, it really definitely helped me. Like a lot of people, they say that was probably like the worst time
Yeah.
for Airbnb, but I think it was my best time. Like I lost units and it came with some slight failure, but I learned a lot of information. I learned how to make this business recession proof.
Yeah.
So
Definitely. Definitely.
a lot of good came out of it.
I love that people like that you persevered over that. Like, because a lot of
people quit.
a lot of people will quit. A
Yes.
lot of people will quit, and that's how you know that you a true entrepreneur to the heart.
Right.
Yes.
Because once entrepreneurs should be breaking you down.
I'm talking about down.
like throwing stuff, crying,
Over here, like, what did I even get myself into?
And don't
right
get me
now?
wrong, because at first I was a quitter. Like it's been so many businesses that I started and I've quit it. Like ask my mom, she has held. I've had so many businesses, so many businesses, and I will quit in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
But this was one thing that I was like, no, I'm going to stick this out because I know the potential of it, and it's just something about them Airbnb notifications and PayPal dings.
That little beep.
Yes,
Your
that just
whole
it's just
mood
like
right.
I gotta make this work. 'cause
Yeah.
it's something here.
Yeah.
It's just not moving the way I want it to move right now, but it's something here.
But it
So,
will.
Yeah,
But it will.
I love that.
So then this next question, I think, tells a lot
I
about...
love this.
I'm sorry. I watch too much TikTok and I can't stop. I can't stop.
I was hoping you didn't pick up on it. She's been doing it the whole show.
I can't stop. It's like a habit now. So, this next question, I feel like it tells a lot about a person. So who was your first celebrity crush?
Who's my first celebrity crush? Oh my goodness, Drake.
Really?
Yes,
Girl.
like really
Why,
heavily.
Like Degrassi Drake or
No.
Or like Drake in his...
Yeah, like Drake in his bag.
okay.
Yeah, when he like really started to be a rapper, and I was like, yeah, he is going to make it. He is gonna make it. I don't care what you guys say, light skin or not, he's gonna make it. Like, ask anybody. I was going so hard for Drake. I am still a huge Drake fan. I'm like so happy my son is a Scorpio. Like,
he's a Scorpio.
Yes.
That's our daddy.
Jesus.
A Scorpio, which month?
October.
Jesus.
I'm ahead for you, girl.
I know. I'm praying for myself every day. Like, he's a lot. He's a lot to deal with.
That's so funny.
But
Well, we want to thank you so much for giving
thank you
us your time. And before we head out, I want you to drop your Instagram so people know where to find you.
shout them out.
And then also leave the people with like a little bit of motivation, encouragement, a little
Inspiration,
something.
anything you
Well,
want.
dang, you put me on the spot.
Sorry, girl.
Okay.
Tell me a little something. Tell me a little something.
Okay. Well, I would definitely say at any age level, you can start living the life that you desire. I am an example of that, because at all stages of my life, I can remember being, financially kind of independent, so to speak. Like, if my mom told me no, I kind of had my money in the cut. I could do it. So at any, age, it's not too early and it's not too late to start, producing income and, getting yourself to where you want to be.
Exactly.
And find your freedom number, because everybody's, freedom number is not the same. Like, $100,000 might be cool for someone,
right?
And they can, put it into an investment and just live off of that for the rest of their lives. Or, somebody's freedom number might be $1 million. Somebody else's freedom number might be 30,000. So you never really know, but find your freedom number and what's going to make you happy, because everybody's goals is not the same. And by looking on social media, you would think, oh, I need to be, making 6 figures, or, I need to be making $1 million. And it's like, give yourself grace. Like, really give yourself grace. Figure out what is freedom to you. Like, if going out once a week is freedom to you, then do that. Find a way to make a little bit of extra money so that you can now go out once a week, or taking a trip, twice a year or 3 times a year. Like, if that's freedom to you, reach for that at any level possible, because then that's going to attract more and more of those type of feelings and those type of experiences into your life.
I love that. I love that.
Make sure you shout out shout out everything.
Follow me at Mastermind Moguls on Instagram and at Lord Leya on TikTok.
Okay.
Yes.
You on TikTok too?
Yes, I love TikTok.
As you can see.
Again, we want to thank you so much for being here. If y'all ready to get into the Airbnb game, go follow her. She know what she's talking about.
Hope you were taking some notes, paying attention.
So for real, y'all need to have a notepad and a pen for this one, for real. But if you're a youngin'
and you're struggling,
it's time to get to hustling. Okay,
Let's go.
See you guys on the next episode of Youngnaires. Bye.
Every day I'm hustling. Every day I'm hustling. Every day I'm hustling. Hustling.